Hi boys and girls, happy Friday, and it is the first day of May. Summer is getting closer. So please make sure that you take notes when you watch the video because I'm still seeing a lot of the same mistakes over and over. So boys and girls, make sure that, look, I'm going to show you my notebook again. Make sure you're doing your work in your notebook. And when I'm reviewing the answers, you should be checking in your notebook to make sure you're getting them correct or incorrect, or looking to see where you made your mistakes. I circled my answers in my notebook so it's easier for me to check. And put a check mark next to the ones that you get correct, put an X if you got it incorrect, and then look to see where you made the mistake. All right, boys and girls, so I'm posting the similar problems every week, so let's try to, master these skills before you guys go to 5th grade. Okay, so number 1, the word problem says that Vanessa bought 4 summer dresses, $19 each. I'm gonna multiply instead of adding. I could add 19 plus 19 plus 19 plus 19, but it's just easier, faster to multiply. 4 times 9 is 36. Carry the 3. 4 times 1 is 7. Okay, so this is how much she spent on the dresses, $76. She bought 2 pairs of shorts for $10.99. Whoops. 2 pairs of shorts for $10.99. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm also gonna multiply. This is like multiplying a 4-digit number by a 2-digit number. Okay, so what you do is you just multiply, just pretend the decimal's not there, and multiply like normal. So 2 times 9 is 18. Carry the 1. 2 times 9 is 18 again, plus 1 is 19. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1, and 2 times 1 is 2. And now I'm going to add the decimal to my answer. There are 2 places after the decimal point, so there has to be 2 decimals after the decimal point in my answer. $21.98. And she bought 2 t-shirts for $6.99 each. These are called multi-step word problems because they are a few steps to get to the final answer. All right, so multiply 2 times 9 again is 18. Carry my 1. 2 times 9 is 18 plus 1 is 19. 6 times 2 is 12 plus 1 is 13. So she spent $13.98 on the t-shirts. All right, so she gave the cashier $115. How much change does she get? Well, the first thing we want to do is add up these numbers to see how much did she spend. She bought dresses, shorts, and t-shirts. And we can add in any order. I'll put the 76 first. And I'm going to add the decimal point and 2 zeros after this just so that the numbers are easier to line up. This is a very important step, boys and girls, because you just want to be careful not to add 76 over here, right? Because these are decimals. These are like cents, right? Like your pennies, like 98 cents. And this is $76, not 76 cents. So we just want to make sure that we line them up correctly so that it looks like this. And then we can add 8 plus 8 is 16. Carry the 1. 9 plus 9 is 18. Plus 1 is 9. 19. And then we have 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. And 8 plus 3 is 11. I'm going to carry the 1. All right. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. And plus 1 is 11. And I'm going to put my decimal point there. Just bring it straight down when we're adding. So this is how much she spent in all, $111.96. So she gives the cashier $115. The same thing. Just make sure, boys and girls, that you line up your numbers correctly. So you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. That's not correct. Okay, so what I do to help me line up my numbers correctly is add 2 zeros, and that helps me line up all the digits correctly. So we have our tenths and hundredths lined up together and our ones, tens, and hundreds on this side. And then we're gonna subtract to figure out how much change Vanessa gets back. So these are zeros, so we're gonna have to borrow from this 5. This 5 becomes a 4, and it goes to the next door neighbor. So that becomes a 10, and then we take from this 10 one away, and we're left with 9, and this 0 becomes a 10. And now we can subtract. 10 minus 6 is 4. 9 minus 9 is 0. 4 minus 1 is 3. And I'm gonna have zeros. I don't usually put those zeros there. So the final answer is $3.04 is her change. Okay. A lot of steps there, boys and girls, but you know, it just has to be done sometimes. And when we go shopping, and your parents go shopping, trust me, all this math gets done in the head, but we round numbers to make it easier. Okay, let's move on to number 2. All right, boys and girls, you're not taking notes because we've been going over these types of multiplication problems for a little while, and I'm seeing some crazy answers. So please make sure you're writing notes, okay? Take out your notebooks again and just copy what I'm doing. So what you're gonna do when you multiply a whole number times a fraction, you just multiply. The rule for multiplying fractions is you just multiply numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. It's that simple. I'm gonna put a 1 under the whole number to make it into a fraction. And you just multiply across. So this is 35 ninths, or it's gonna be 3 and 8 ninths. Okay, I'm gonna skip the division part. If you got this far, I am sure you know what to do. Okay, but this is perfectly fine. All right, same thing for number 3. Just put a 1 under the 8 to make it into a fraction. And I have 16/6 as my answer, or 2 and 4/6, and or 4 and 2/3. Shout out to Edwin. Thank you, Edwin, for getting to this answer. That was great. All right, multiplication, 2 digit by 2 digit. I'm doing the traditional method. First, ignore the 4 and just multiply the ones. So 2 times 7 is 14. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Okay. Remember to put a 0 here because now I'm going to multiply the tens place, not in the ones place. 4 times 7 is 28. Carry the 2. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. And I'm going to add my answers together. And remember, line them up correctly. So I have, you see that 4 and the 1 are out here by themselves. That's okay. You can always put zeros anywhere you see blank spaces. So 4 plus 0 is 0. 7 plus 8 is 15. Carry the 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. And 1. 1,554. All right, long division. 6 goes into 8 one time. 1 times 6 is 6, and then I subtract. 8 minus 6 is 2. Bring down the 4. On the 6 times tables, I know that 4 times 6 is exactly 24. And then I'm going to get a 0 here. Bring down the next number, which is a 9. And 6 goes into 9 one time. 1 times 6 is 6. Subtract 9 minus 6 is 3. So that's my remainder. 141, remainder 3. Okay, Livia, please take notes, because you said you didn't understand this problem, so please make sure you copy this. Okay, supplementary. Supplementary means that both angles or all the angles added together have to equal 180. Okay? All right, so this is called a straight angle. It measures 180 degrees. Okay, and here we see that it is cut into two parts. This angle here measures 130, and we have a missing angle. The total has to equal 180 degrees. So how much is x? I mean, we could pretty much do it in our head, but we just subtract 180 minus 130, and that'll give us the missing number, 50. So if I put a 50 here, there, 50 plus 130 is 180. All right, boys and girls, for number 7, I attached the picture of this chart. I did ask you to copy, like draw this in your notebook. I remember when we first learned it, I also sent you like a PDF so you could have printed it if you have a printer at home. But either way, you should have this at home. So you see the Q's, those Q's stand for quarts. And how many P's? I'm sorry, the P's are pints, right? So you have pints inside of the quarts. How many pints are in a quart? 2. Do you see that? 2 pints inside 1 quart. So here you have 1, 2, 3, 4 quarts. 2, 4, 6, 8 pints, right? Oh no, I'm sorry, I can't draw on that one because it's a touch screen. Okay, so here on my whiteboard, so if 1 quart equals 2 pints, we said that 4 quarts equals 8 pints. Okay. Another 4 quarts is gonna equal 8 pints. Okay, so here we have 4 plus 4, and the question was how many pints are in 9 quarts. So if I add 1 more quart, well, I know that there are 2 pints inside the quart. So we just we could add 8 plus 8 is 16 plus 2 more is 18. So 18 was the final answer. Or you could have multiplied 9 times 2 equals 18. Okay, number 8, we had to round. Okay, so round to the nearest 1,000. Here is my thousands place. I put a circle around the digit that they asked me to round to, and I look to the right. Okay, please remember the rule, 5 or more, add 1 more. The 9 is more than 5, so I'm gonna add 1 more here to the thousands place. And that's gonna be 79, right? Because 8 plus 1 is 9. Everything else that is after the circle becomes a 0. So my answer is 79,000. Number 9, subtraction. I don't have my napkin with me here. Okay, number 9 is subtraction. So, all right, 70,500. There's a lot of borrowing with this problem. I was doing it last night. And yes, there is a lot of borrowing. Okay, so the 5 is gonna let its neighbor borrow 1, right? So that 5 becomes a 4, this becomes a 10. And now the 0 is gonna borrow from that 10. And we're left with 9 there. And now this becomes 10, right? 10 minus 9 is 1. 9 minus 9 is 0. Okay, now this 4 needs to borrow. So there's nothing here, so we have to go to the 7. Take 1 away from here, we're left with 6. And the 1 is gonna go to the 0 first. So that becomes a 10. And now the 4 is gonna borrow from the 10. So we're left with 9 there, and this becomes 14. 14 minus 9 is 5. 9 minus 5 is 4. And then we have the 6. 64,501 is the answer. Okay, this one was a trick question. A couple of you fell for it. All right, so this is a square. The perimeter. For the perimeter of a square, we have to add up all the sides. So we have to add side plus side plus side plus side. There are 4 sides in a square, so we have to add up four sides. All right, so if one side of a square measures 7, what do the other sides measure? Well, we know that this side also measures 7 because it's the same size as this one. But this is a square, boys and girls, so all the sides measure the same length. All right, so you just add 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7. Oops, sorry, I'm thinking too fast. And that equals 28 because 4 times 7 is 28 inches. All right, boys and girls, that's it for today. I will see you on Monday. Enjoy your weekend.